Hey everybody, Dan here for Comic Frontline, and it is time for our weekly comic book haul. Now, I had done a New York Comic Con haul, and unbeknownst to me, I had some books that I did not include in there. I had gotten them the first day of the con. I had put them aside so they wouldn't get damaged at the convention, and I came across them and wanted to go over what I had gotten at the con. And of course, as a comic book haul that is supposed to be from a comic monster, we have to have a monstrous haul. So we're going to be getting stuff from New York Comic Con, stuff from the mail, stuff from the comic store. We're going to have everything in this one. All right, let's start off with, I had gotten this new sketchbook from Bill Mouse. Okay, Bill Mouse is actually my table mate over there at New York Comic Con, and he does art for my book, Sorority of Power, from Argo Comics. So, he had a book made up with Marvel inker Mike Babinski doing the inks, or Mikey Babinski, as he goes by sometimes. So there's collaborative pieces of theirs, and I'll even take it out of the bag and kind of give you guys a little look-see here of some of the, I'll say amazing, since we're on that page, amazing art that is within. This was a great Slave Leia piece that was in there. I especially like these Catwomen pieces, but just plenty of phenomenal art. As I said, Bill is doing my comic Sorority of Power, but he is best known perhaps for his work on his own character, Nira X. Okay, and this is a bit of a primer. It's called Nira X, Cyber Angel, Battleground Zero preview. Oh, Ground Zero preview, excuse me. So, basically kind of lays down the groundwork for the new reader of Nira X, what Nira X is all about. It also had another version, alternate cover, with a more photo modeled cover variant. This cover is by Thad Rhodes, who is also at the show, and as you can see here, he just does some phenomenal work. So, we also had another thing from Bill, Zombies versus Cheerleaders, which recently, I think, partnered up under the Zenescope imprint. This was prior to that, and this was a cover by Bill. You could see that these were signed for me, which I greatly appreciate. A person whose webcomic I had admired a lot came by the table, and he had dropped off. I had reviewed his webcomic on this series before, my Comic Monster haul. Dropped off this Super Haters printed edition. He knows that I am a particular fan of Andrew Killian, who drew this cover and did like the opening chapter of this. Basically, again, Super Haters was originally a cut and paste comic where you just kind of had the same images going on, and then they just have different dialogue. And I just thought it was perhaps the best, or one of the best at least, webcomics I had ever come across. And then, as I said, in future times, he had guest artists who did a different take than the cut and paste. They did actual like sequentials. Andrew Killian, perhaps being my favorite of that whole bunch. He actually did a couple pinups for Argo Comics. That's how much I liked his work, prior to me even knowing that he did this work for Super Haters. Yeah, so Nick Marino is the writer, and he does have a series coming out. I will merely call it Holy F. Um, you can kind of fill in the blanks as to what the actual title is. It's going to be from Action Lab. So Nick has done like if you look up Nick Marino podcast, you'll find just like a slew of great podcasts. That's where I originally got introduced to him. It was on Comics Related. So I got introduced to his podcast there, Sequential Underground, and then I just took off into liking his material. So I'll say that is a recommended webcomic, and you'll probably want to check out his future comic as well. Artist extraordinaire Adam Hughes was at the convention, so I was patient enough not to jump in on all the eBay sellers and get this for myself. He had this new sketchbook and an archive sketchbook, which had a lot of older pieces that I remember fondly. So 2 Adam Hughes sketchbooks. Very great to look through. And talking of awesome art, I had found these available through Lulu. You might be able to find them elsewhere. This is the George Perez Pacesetter magazine. Okay, it's a kind of like the Jack Kirby collector that they do just all about Jack Kirby. This is all about George Perez. Undoubtedly one of my all-time favorite artists. Let's see, this is issues 12 and 13. So I have each issue. Perez is just, if you're watching this and you're looking to see which comics I buy each week and stuff like that, if you have any sense of comics history, you'll already know the name. You're probably not watching a comics podcast if you're not familiar with the name George Perez, I imagine, or videocast rather. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the comic shop books. And speaking of phenomenal artists, it's a embarrassment of riches, as they say, for comic book art this week. John Boy Myers did Supergirl, okay? And he is just an amazing, amazing talent. I pretty much have tried to get everything that he's ever worked on. And I've gotten, again, pinups for Argo Comics from him, because if there's an artist whose work I'm just astounded by, that I'm going to be out there trying to get something for Argo Comics from them. George Perez being one notable exception, as he's most of the time has been under an exclusive with one comic company or another. Would love to get something from George Perez, but it has not happened as of yet. But John Boy Myers on Supergirl. Supergirl's not a book I've been picking up, but you get John Boy Myers on it, boom, I am there. Okay, Fantastic Four, I've been following this storyline, so still on it. Leonard Kirk does the art, James Robinson doing the writing, so that's a good combination. and I've still been picking that up. Batman Superman, they had 2 covers on this one. Got this one. Yeah, it wasn't the normal artist that they have been utilizing Jay Lee inside. They obviously had him for a cover, not in the interiors. It's still good inside. I'm not really on board with this, but I figured, okay, let me at least know what's going on. So Thor #1, the female Thor hits the ground running. All right, let's see, Avengers World. Flip through this. This is looked great, so I picked it up. World's End #2. Okay, variety of people working on this one. Again, kind of looking to see what's going on with it, and picked it up. All right, now this one I pre-ordered basically for the cover. Okay, look at that. That cover pretty much says, "What you gonna do, brother? But buy this comic." I mean, this is Hulk Hogan in all his glory. Joe Jusko doing this amazing painting of the Hulkster. Big wrestling fan here, so and I'd seen Hogan prior to when he came in WWF, now the WWE. Saw him prior to that, saw him in the WWF at a number of events. I think I saw him fight Big John Studd, Kamala, I think another one. Can't recall who the other opponent was. But Hogan, perhaps still my all-time favorite. And fantastic cover of him right here. Ivan Putski might be up there as well as one of my favorites. But all right. Batman Eternal 28. I've been on and off with this title, but I picked this one up. Actually, that about does it. So, you've seen me talk about a lot of these great books. You can go check them out yourself at your comic shops or via a web search to see some of these, because again, I'm not just going to pick up the most popular title on the stand. I'm going to look around for stuff that appeals to me. And I always encourage people to not just ride the wave of what everyone's getting, but to, look out there for stuff that might appeal to you as an individual. All right, well, keep coming back to Comic Frontline for your comics news, reviews, and entertainment. Talk to you later.